It's impossible not to feel.
This donkey sauce has got me feeling.
This has got me donkey sauced. Everybody knows the first emotion that we feel as humans is donkeyed.
Ooh.
I'm entering this podcast with a new lease on podcasting, David.
Oh, what's that?
I typically take pretty numerous notes about the games I'm playing.
Uh-huh.
I've got one single page and just a list of the games that I'm playing.
Whoa, no notes tonight.
Free from the shackles of preparation.
Dang, dude.
We'll see if that actually turns out in the way that I think it might.
Look at you go. I mean, you should have told me, and then I should have just made a bunch of lists and notes and stuff. And we could have done an opposite cast.
Yeah, you could over prepare like me.
Yeah, I feel like you are adequately prepared, and I'm usually underprepared, and then we meet each other in the middle. It's kind of what happens, and it makes a nice little dichotomy of the pod.
That's our vibe. We come together and make a chavid stew.
Oh, a chavid stew. Maybe you got a stew going now.
You have a stew going, which in this case is in the form of video game Podtimism, the Optimist video game variety show where two best friends talk about the wonderful world of gaming, prepared or not. Ooh. My name is Chase.
My name is David.
And listen, that doesn't mean I haven't been playing video games, because I definitely have. But I'm just going to see what happens when I just talk about them, you know? I'm turning over a new leaf. I'm just feeling out a new vibe.
And this is Chase Albee New Leaf. It's portable.
In fact, it's Chase Allheart New Leaf. Not even Albee anymore.
I'm so bad at this.
That's fine. So am I. I still introduce myself with my old last name constantly.
The old name. The old B.
The old B. Yeah. Have you been playing video games, David?
I have been, yes.
Yeah, we were texting and you had said it's kind of the same stuff.
Yeah, it's mostly the same stuff. Kingdom Hearts.
Okay.
I vanquished the Alice in Wonderland level in like 15 minutes.
Oh, congratulations.
It was my crowning achievement. For young me.
That's the surprising thing about a lot of Kingdom Hearts 1 is in my mind, my memory, a lot of those levels are outsized, a lot of time spent there, but then you play them and it's over in 20 minutes. You're through long. So fast. Yeah.
You're through it real quick. So I got that one. I got through Tarzan. I touched a little bit in the Colosseum, and now I'm in Agrabah.
Yeah, you're moving right along.
I'm scooting on through this game.
Yeah.
Still enjoying it. It's good. It's Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
It's silly. It's so silly sometimes. When Tarzan is going on this very profound but Tarzan way of talking about how if you have no heart, you have no friends was a little much. No heart, no friends. Ooh. It's damn, this is peak Kingdom Hearts right now. Even Tarzan gets it.
Some of those properties are so easy to wrap around the narrative of Kingdom Hearts. I think Peter Pan specifically is really that is so easy to make a Kingdom Hearts story in.
Yeah.
Tarzan is a tough one. That is not an easy story.
Tarzan's a tough
to put
one.
Kingdom Hearts in,
especially when all the gorillas are just they have no voice acting. They just kind of emote, and that's it.
Yes,
makes it seem very strange. I'm gorillas should be loud. They should be yelling at me and saying things, but they're very stoic. Makes them seem very powerful that they're so stoic.
They got the gorillas right in Kingdom Hearts. Can't knock Kingdom Hearts for not getting those gorillas.
You better come
right.
correct with them gorillas. Otherwise, everyone knows you're just a poser.
Yeah, it's true. Jane Goodall will come for you.
Jane Goodall. Jane was looking pretty bad in this game, though.
Bad as in nice, or bad as in that is not the Jane that I know?
Bad as in when you see her next to Clayton for I don't know what happened, but they decided to really animate Clayton's face, and Jane is just flat.
You really do get some people that they put a lot of oomph into with a lot of facial animation, and then the others get the mouth open, mouth closed animation.
And that was it.
Yeah.
I mean, she's still a fine character, but it was just jarring when you see the two of them interact with each other, and they do that a lot. I'm wow, he looks like a Disney character, and she just looks like a prop almost.
Yes, exactly.
But yeah, I think that's just part of the fun of, I don't know, Kingdom Hearts. There's just some spots that are just a little janky.
Yes. Yeah.
That's just part of the game, part of the mystique.
I feel like the harder I look at Kingdom Hearts and the more that I try to pick it apart, the less I enjoy it. And so if I'm kind of just along for the ride, and if I buy what they sell, I'm this game is incredible. It's so good.
Yeah, it's very much if you were just reading it on a surface level and appreciating it for what it's just saying and not thinking too hard about it, it's a great ride.
Great. Yeah,
but it kind of falls apart once you pull any threads that are sticking out to you.
What does not having a heart mean, Tarzan? No, we're actually not going to talk about that. We just need you to understand that that's like a vibe sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, right. It means no friends. It's the opposite of Hakuna Matata. Heartless. Yep. But still enjoying it. It's a fun game.
Yeah.
I've also still been playing a lot of Metroid Prime Remastered.
Mm-hmm.
Quite a bit of that. I've gotten what did I just get? I got the Ice Beam.
Oh, cool. You're a little bit farther than I am, I think.
I feel like I'm scooting on through this game. I'm making some progress. I think it's impressive how they are able to guide you to where to go without like outright telling you what to do or where you can use things. But I also appreciate when I'm deep in like a new area and they're like, hey, you can't go this way. You need a different part of your suit. Go find it and then come back.
Yeah, no, they do a good job of that. I feel like that's a thing that happens in almost every Metroidvania, and oftentimes why the first like hour or two of a Metroidvania is kind of tough because like you're able to go in every single direction, and that's like overwhelming. But the like process of I have like this big map and there are like 3 places that I can't get to yet. And then you unlock a special cool new jump and you're like, I know exactly where I can go now. Yep. And then you run back there and that thing gets you another sort of like power to go, dive through lava or something. Yeah. It's like a hugely satisfying loop. I did the same thing with Hollow Knight where like I played an hour of Hollow Knight and I'm like, I don't think that one's for me. Came back a year later after you were playing it and I was like, holy shit, this is so good.
That game is so good. Fuck.
But that first hour was just like, I can go in every direction. I don't know which way to go.
It like you said, it's overwhelming. It can be because there are so many different pathways you can go, and sometimes it's unclear, like, am I just doing this wrong that I can't get here, or am I just missing something? But I mean, I was trying to get over an obstacle and the game just came up with a little screen. It's like, hey, you need something else. Go away. Don't come here yet, which I appreciated. So I didn't like rack my brain on how to get around something I can't get around. The game's great. Really enjoy it. Yeah. And I've still been playing Dark Souls Remastered. A lot of remasters right now. Dark Souls Remastered. Yeah, they're all remasters right now. Whoa. Wow. I am the target audience for remasters, apparently. Yeah. Anyways, sorry, gamers. I beat Quelaag. Oh, hell yeah. Went back, beat her up, and then I found one of the nastiest boss names I've ever seen in my life. The Ceaseless Discharge. I do not like that boss name. I do not like that boss name one bit.
There's no imagery that it conjures that's friendly or fun.
Absolutely not. Not even like dangerous, but just nasty.
Gross. Yeah.
A ceaseless discharge.
That's the like big like lava monster that crawls along the lake.
That's the big lava monster that crawls along.
Have you beaten him yet?
No, I left because I'm like, he's just killing me in one shot, and this is I think I'm underleveled right now.
It's worth looking up because there's like a trick to beating him. Like you kind of just have to like go to the right area and then hit him in the hands a couple times and he'll fall off and die.
Because I don't like the spot I'm in right now, which is Sen's Fortress. Them lizards are fucking me up.
The lizards are tough. Yeah. Like that whole area, the stretch between like getting in there, having to like run up that like ramp with the balls rolling down it is like really tough. That area is not easy. Plus it's kind of a long run from like the blacksmith's area or whatever that is.
To the next bonfire?
Just like through Sen's Fortress or whatever. Like it takes a long time to get through there. Yeah. I think there's also a boss at the end of it, which is like, fuck you guys. It's so tough.
This game, more than the other FromSoft games I've played, feels a little bit more vindictive against the player. Feels a little bit more aggressive against the player. That it's not just you got to learn how to play the game better. It's more like, fuck you, learn to play the game better.
Yeah, we're going to kick you in the ass a couple times.
You thought you were doing well? You beat Quelaag?
Here's the Ceaseless Discharge.
Here's the Ceaseless Discharge. Ugh, nasty name. Just butt nasty.
The Unending Gooper.
The Unending Gooper. The Eternal Dookie.
Yeah, we're like one step away from making a new Conker's Bad Fur Day game with these bosses.
I mean, Neverending Dookie might be close, and it could be like a parody of Neverending Story.
Yeah,
I can see a Conker's game like that.
Get Rareware on the phone. I've got a new Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Although I think the Neverending Story reference would probably be lost on a lot of the target audience for the game at this point in time.
Yes, absolutely.
But we would get it.
But like they were making Saving Private Ryan jokes in Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Were they
and
really?
They were. There was like a whole section that was Saving Private Ryan like parody.
Wow.
I'm realizing I'm saying this being like, why would they do that? If kids were playing it, I was like, oh yeah, it's rated M. They were building this for older people. I just happened to be a little nasty boy who got his claws on it.
His claws. His nasty boy claws.
I want to play the game with a poop guy in it.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember you talking about playing this game and thinking you're really cool. So mission accomplished, Chase.
I thought I was really cool. I thought it was so funny. Like it was just fucking peak humor.
I mean, it's literal toilet humor. Has a talking poo in it.
It's like one of the more cringy things that I can think of that I was really excited about as a kid. It was like genuinely, I've seen cutscenes. I'm like, this is so brutal to watch. Not because I'm cringing.
Played it again, haven't you?
Yeah, they came out with like a remake of it on the Xbox era that I played through, and like I think I was like 14, 15, something like that. And it was like much, I don't know, more enjoyable then. I understood the references a little bit more, but like even still, even at that time, I was like, oh, yikes, this is a weird video game, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, gaming.
Tales in gaming. Here we go.
Maybe we should have changed our podcast name to Anyway Gaming.
Gaming.
That's not a bad one.
It's not a bad one.
I don't hate that. It's better than the Good Time Hat, which is what we almost named this way back when.
Did we really?
Yeah, that was on the short list of names for video game podtimism.
The Good Time Hat?
Yeah, it's a Tim Rogers reference. He talked about how if you put the Good Time Hat on, like some of the Forza Horizon games are just really cool because you can race big fun cars.
This is true.
It's not unlike the theory of this pod, but like, man, the Good Time Hat does not describe even a little bit of what we do here.
No, not at all. Well, what else was on the short list? Anything else?
Game Boys, spelled BOIS.
That one's fun.
Yeah. Games Are Good, like spelled Toys R Us. That's a pretty rough one.
That's pretty rough.
The Good Time Hat.
Mm-hmm.
I Can't Reach That Brick was one of the names, which is a reference to The Walking Dead for really just an audience of us.
Yes.
Like we were the only people who that joke would have been.
That's a meme. That's a friendship meme right there.
Constructive Criticism, which is like the most boring name possible.
Yeah, no one wants to listen to that pod.
Chavid Good Time was another one, which given the scope and sort of the history of our podcast, Chavid Good Time sounds like a person, which like is sort of on brand. That's not
Good Time. His last name is Good Time. That's cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But Anyway Games would have been on this list if we had figured it out then.
That was a good one. We'll see.
Yeah.
Just a quick 100th and 10th episode change.
Is that your guess for what episode we're on, David?
Is it 120?
140 is this episode, David.
We're already almost halfway through a second 100.
I know.
God damn.
It's so fucked up. Yeah.
How was this happening?
It's the most bizarre thing because like it doesn't feel like we have made 140 of these, but here we are.
Exponential growth.
I was just thinking we probably need to play another like farming sim for 150.
Okay. Some other silly sim game.
Yeah, some sim game that we like have yet to get into.
Mm-hmm. I'm into it.
Maybe Trucking Simulator.
There was some similar game that I was peeking at on Game Pass the other day, but I forget what it was. They have a lot of interesting ones on there.
Anyway, gaming. What?
I will say that when I was playing the Coliseum in Kingdom Hearts, I beat the first barrel thing you do, and then I lost the second barrel thing you do. And it said, "Hey, do you want to give up?" And I said, "Yes, I do." And that's okay. It's okay to give up sometimes.
Did it not like do anything? The game just kept moving. Like, were you able to move on from that? Like, did you you don't have to do that ever again?
I haven't tried. I might still have to beat that second barrel level. I'm gonna have to beat it eventually, I think. But I was just like, I don't want to do this right now.
Yeah, fair. I also had to do that like once or twice. Mm-hmm. The first round is easy, and then they're like, all right, climb up to like another platform and hit some barrels. I'm like, dude, I don't think I'm prepared for this.
The camera is far too opinionated in that game for that to happen easily. Yeah. That camera is hard to control sometimes.
Yeah, it's not always cooperative.
Yeah, that's how it goes. Anyways, gaming for Chase. What have you been playing, my friend?
Kind of a weird bunch. No new games. No hot releases or anything. I'm only talking about the oldies today.
Cool.
The first one I want to talk to you about is The Legend of Dragoon, David.
I really want to hear what your thoughts are on this because I remember this game so fondly as a child.
Yeah, it is good. I'm enjoying it so far. I am a sucker for this aesthetic. I think that the PS1 aesthetic is very good. It has come around from being like, wow, this looks like a really like just pile of dookie. It like looks like they were trying as hard as they could with the PlayStation 1 and just like it still wasn't getting very good.
Yeah.
But I've fully come around and like, no, I kind of enjoy this look of it.
It's vintage.
Kind of. Yeah. It triggers the same stuff of like, older movies looking a little bit less high def.
The digital camera of video games.
I think so. There's something about it that feels intentional now rather than just like, this is the best we've got. And especially in games where like they're making the most out of it, where, you can see what they're trying to do rather than like, I can't distinguish what that is.
Sure.
I'm able to like read what they're doing here just fine, which is good. I'm probably like an hour or two into it, and like right now it's like it's fun and I'm enjoying the story. It feels very like urgent, most of the story. The like very first part of it, you're playing as Dart, I think is his name.
Yeah.
And like you are away from your village that gets like invaded, razed, and then like one of the like women from the village get taken, and you don't know why, but you like show back up and you're like, oh fuck, what happened here? Fight a couple of guards, and then they're like, yeah, we like took her to, I think it's Helena prison, and you have to go there. And it's like, I'm kind of glad that right now the story is like just, yeah, something fucked up happened and you're like trying to like kind of make it right rather than like immediately pulling in like the world altering events that I'm sure will show up eventually. But
hey, yes.
Right now, I'm glad it's just like this person from our village got taken. I want to go try and get her back. And so you like run down to this like Helena prison, which I really, really like the world design of some of this stuff. Like your village initially is kind of just like textbook JRPG village, but when you show up to Helena prison, it's like this leaning tower of Pisa tilted like monstrosity sitting kind of like just offshore of like, I don't know, a peninsula or something like that.
Sure.
And so you run up to it and it looks imposing. It's like a very scary looking prison. And I'm in there right now. I just got some other guy, I forget his name, but he like wields a spear and we're trying to save our friend.
He becomes a green dragoon.
Yes, yeah. I haven't gotten to the part yet where we're starting to turn into dragoons, but I know that that's a mechanic that shows up eventually, which I'm pretty excited about. I think definitely the most interesting thing to me right now is just the combat mechanics of it all. It like you were saying last week, it does the thing where if you press a button good, you do more damage. Yeah. But it goes a little bit farther than like Paper Mario does, because Paper Mario is, and a lot of those Mario and Luigi games and Iconfell, a lot of it is like press just a single button at the right time to do it correctly, and then you do more damage. Whereas Legend of Dragoon is initially like that. Like your first time, if you hit X at the right time, when like this thing comes into the center of the screen, you hit it at the right time, you do a special attack, you start to be able to equip other skills during combat. So you do different attacks, right? So the one that I have right now equipped is called Volcano, which it sometimes alters what the second button press is, but the first one is usually X, and then the second one sometimes is circle, and then the third one is usually X. And so like it is harder to pull off, and if you fuck it up, you take damage.
Sure.
Which it's like higher risk, but if you do it right, it does a lot of damage, which I love that you're able to strategize a little bit with like what you're equipping in that way. It just gives it a little bit more depth than I think like Paper Mario has.
Sure.
And like obviously Paper Mario is doing that intentionally. They want to keep it mostly simple, but I do appreciate that they're doing a little bit more here.
Yeah. There's some stakes to some of these moves.
Yes. Yeah. Which feels good. I'm having a great time with that. It feels very novel. I'm sure that I will unlock a lot more of those because like it just feels like such a good place to experiment and toy around and see like, okay, what does this character do well, or what can we do here? So yeah, I'm surprised that a lot of games haven't adopted that more often, especially like JRPGs, just because like it I feel, at least for me, it adds a lot to the combat to make it feel not just like, okay, here's another random battle that I gotta go like kick somebody's ass in. I feel like you see a lot of the approach where it turns kind of into a puzzle, which I also like. I think that's a very valid approach to combat in RPGs like Persona or Chained Echoes or something like that, where the way that you win a fight is not necessarily just pressing attack a bunch of times. It's like, I do need to kind of consider who am I hitting here, and if I can, in the case of Persona, like get them all downed so that I can do an all-out attack, or in Chained Echoes, like exploit the weaknesses of these enemies enough to beat them well. And but I do like this approach too, where it's like you are having an active hand in whether or not you are doing well in this fight, which for me, a little ding boy, I enjoy getting the dopamine hit of like, you're doing a good job. You did more damage. I enjoy that. So
just a little bump.
A little bit, yeah. The one thing that is challenging, and also like it's good and bad, is that the translation in spots is rough.
Ooh.
The like some of it is nigh incomprehensible of like, what are they trying to tell me here? The menus specifically, there's a lot of stuff in there where I'm like, the menus, there's a lot of the prompts in there are like very uncommon ways to describe what the actions are.
Okay. Like what?
When you pull up the menu, there's something called status, which like, okay, makes sense. Item. And if you go into item, it says use it. And then you get to like select from a bunch of things, which like, okay, I can kind of understand what's happening there. Armed is the next tab. I don't really know what that is. It turns out that is like your armor and your like equipment.
Sure. It's where you select your arms.
It's where you go in and play ARMS on Nintendo Switch for just a second to get a nice level up.
There you go.
There's Addition, which is where you equip your skills for battle. Replace, which is how you choose your party members.
Oh.
And then config and save. Classics.
Okay,
Easy.
they got those ones.
Yeah, they got those ones right. But it's like on first blush, I was like, wait, what is in here? What am I supposed to be doing with this place?
What are they trying to communicate to me right now?
And like some of the dialogue is just sort of stilted. Like that is a weird thing to say for these people. I'm still understanding what is happening, which is like a relief, but some of it is very like goofy and like that is a bizarre thing for this person to be saying right now. Like dialogue that does not match the energy of what's happening.
Gotcha.
And like, you know, may have made more sense in Japanese, but it isn't making a lot of sense in English.
Just kind of off topic or like kind of out of the flow of the conversation, things being said.
Yeah. Like tonally, I'm like, why would you respond that way? You know, but it's not terrible. It's just something that like in 2023, I'm like, okay, yeah, wow. I forgot about this era of JRPGs where like translation was a big, that was hard to do. And like, even that's true of like Final Fantasy VII as well, right? Like there's so much writing in there and a lot of it isn't translated perfectly. So, you know, some of it's like missed. Anyway, good game. I'm enjoying that one.
Awesome.
I'm going to keep playing, and especially like I kind of want to see what the thrust of this game is. I don't feel like I'm there yet.
Dragoons. That's the thrust.
Dragons, man. I also understand that this is a bit of a longer game.
It's long.
I think it's like 50 or 60 hours. So
yeah,
I kind of want to like get a little bit more into it, because I feel like with some of the JRPGs like that, it's hard for me to put it down and say like, yes, I know what this game is about before like really getting into it. Whereas like, you know, sometimes I'll pick up a game in like an hour and I'm like, I know what's going to happen here. I can see the rest of this one pretty clearly.
Sure.
I've also been playing a tiny indie game called The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
I saw you playing that.
I have not played this game since I played it the first time on the Wii U. I think I hadn't acquired a Switch yet.
Yes.
I just kind of got the temptation to go hang out in there. Because like, you know, Tears of the Kingdom is coming out in, I think it's May. I just had I wanted to go see what it was about, because it's been a while, right? I've played Elden Ring, a game that feels deeply influenced by Breath of the Wild, and like it's been X many years, and I don't think that there's a lot of games that have hit the same highs that this game has. And so I was just interested to go back. It's still like just incredible, shockingly good.
So it's what, 6-7 years old now?
Yeah, it came out in 2017, I think. 6 years, yeah.
6 years, yeah.
Yeah, no, it still feels pretty much just as good. I mean, it's a hard game to talk about, because I don't really know, like, there's been so much discourse over this game and all of its incredible bits. And so like, I don't know what to bring up other than like, yeah, game is fucking good. I will say I'm getting my ass kicked more than I remember.
The game's hard.
The first run through.
It doesn't pull any punches. It has that Dark Souls influence in it now. Those Lionels fuck you up.
Oh yeah. I think I got a little big for my britches, because like I got off the Great Plateau, which like still is like just one of the best ways to introduce you to a video game.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Where they're like, this is the whole thing. This is your whole experience with the video game. And we've condensed it down to like an hour-ish or so. And then just like go do that again. And many, many times, right? It's great. Like just an incredible introduction to the video game. And so I did that. And then they're like, okay, go to Kakariko Village village and go talk to Impa, right? I'm like, yeah, no, I played this game before. And so I essentially just like took off in the other direction, right? Like I'm just going to go do my own shit. And I think that was a bold choice and potentially a bad one.
Bold move, Cotton.
Yeah, because I kind of just got my ass kicked everywhere I went because like I had no gear. I had the worst weapons. I had gotten none of the shrines yet. So I had 3 hearts and that's it.
Damn.
So like everybody that I would roll up on would just like destroy me. The little like red moblins, not a big deal. The blue moblins it usually took them 1 to 2 hits to kill me completely.
Damn.
So I was ill prepared for how bad I got my butt kicked. So right now I've been to Kakariko and then I went to, I think it's Hatano Village, the one that you go like after that, where you go get the like upgrades to your Sheikah slate. I've mostly just been like going to the shrines to try and like do those and get more health.
Sure.
Especially because the first time that I played it, I didn't realize that eventually you would need a high enough health threshold for a thing that I won't spoil if somebody potentially hasn't played this game.
Yeah.
And so I had like really evenly split hearts and stamina upgrades. And it was like kind of tough to find the last like few shrines to get enough hearts to like survive the thing. And so I'm mostly just investing in hearts at this point because I feel like at least the places that you need to be able to get to, they don't require you to have perfect stamina every single time.
Okay, so are you playing Breath of the Wild or are you playing Kingdom Hearts? You're only investing in hearts right now.
That's true, dude. Wow. I've been so Kingdom Hearts pilled I didn't even realize it too. It's cool. My main character of Breath of the Wild, Sora from Kingdom Hearts.
But what if they did make an open world Kingdom Hearts game?
Do not tempt me with a good time, dude. That sounds really good.
Could be interesting, right?
I mean, the Lion King level in the second one's got an open area, sort of.
Have
Maybe
you been
they
to
already did.
Or I mean, I don't know if you've played Kingdom Hearts 3 yet, but the Pirates of the Caribbean level in that one's pretty much open world. Pretty good.
Hell yeah. No, I haven't played 3 yet. I paused because I wanted to be able to remember the games that we're going to talk about rather than playing the entirety of the series before we even recorded a single episode.
Scooting on through those games. I'm impressed by your stamina, sir.
Still about halfway through Dream Drop Distance right now.
Triple D. It's featuring Guy Fieri.
Welcome back to Guy Fieri's Dream Drop Distance. We're here with 3 cooks, Sora, Riku, and Kairi.
If it's friendship, we'll find it.
Oh, damn, David. Damn. It's good. Wow. It sort of blew me back for a second.
Is Guy Fieri already a nobody? Do you think he's a nobody?
No, I don't know, because he seems so heartful.
He's a being of pure light, isn't he?
Yeah, you try and make him into a heartless and it doesn't work. He's pulled back to the real world. I think Guy Fieri does have a nobody, but I don't know who it is.
Where are we putting the X in Guy Fieri's name to make him a nobody? Could it be Yugx?
It could be Yugx. Oh my God. Oh my God. My mind is swirling with the Guy Fieri Kingdom Hearts lore. Holy shit.
Oh man. Yugx Fieri.
It could still just be Fieri. That's okay.
Uggs Fieri.
Who is his nobody though?
But Yugx, right?
Yes, but like, I guess I'm talking who's the real world person. Because like Sora's nobody is Roxas, who like is a person. Normally it's just whatever your deal is.
Yeah.
But I think when Guy is turned into a nobody during Kingdom Hearts 1, everybody remembers that he generates a nobody similar to Roxas. And so I'm trying to think about who that is.
Who would be Guy Fieri's real life nobody?
Yeah, exactly.
Like a real world version of Yugx.
It might be Bobby Flay for me.
Ooh. I mean, the other one I was thinking would be Gordon Ramsay, but he actually seems like he's a nice man. Bobby Flay
he's got
will
a veneer.
Take your grandma's greatest recipe ever and then just like make people tell you it's garbage because his is so much better.
You're just describing Beat Bobby Flay right now, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's a monster. He has to be stopped.
Man, if you Google famous cooks, it really just is Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah, it's a lot of Gordy.
Yeah.
Is it Emerald?
Emerald's not on here very much, which is surprising. I think that might be only 90s kid remember sort of ref.
Emerald Lagasse. Bam.
Maybe it's the singer of Smash Mouth.
Oh, maybe it's Mario Batali who got canceled for being a bastard.
Mm-hmm. Mario Batali, famously the leader of Organization 13.
He's definitely Guy Fieri's nobody.
Even if Bobby Flay isn't his nobody, he is in Organization 13.
It's just Flay with an X.
Yeah, Bobby Flax, for sure. Breath of the Wild is a good video game, and I'm enjoying playing it.
I enjoy the celebrity chef cinematic universe
13.
with the Kingdom Hearts flair.
Yeah. It's pretty good. I'm going to have like a chart by the next time we record.
Because then all their unique weapons could be just different cooking utensils.
Yeah, it's right there. Yeah.
It's so easy.
I've got a lot of photoshopping ahead of me, I think.
Chase, you can't have Whiskey Weekend. You're going to be too busy photoshopping.
Yeah. Breath of the Wild, good. I'm really enjoying it. I don't know that a lot of other games other than Elden Ring are able to capture what makes this game so special.
Yeah.
I will say that, like, I don't know if this is a criticism, but it's just something that I'm experiencing, is that I don't have the same drive that I did the first time I played it. The first time I played it, I was like, I need to uncover everything in this world and just like go behind every corner and uncover every rock. And I'm not having that as much. And I think it's just like a lot of the time I'll be wandering around and be like, oh, I think I remember this place. And like go to the left and like, oh, here's a shrine over there. Or climbing up towards a mountain. I'm like, I bet I know what's up here. I think I remember getting here. And then, yes, I do. And because the game relies so much on your own curiosity and the game rewards you for that, it's less of a sort of like joyous experience this time, more of like, oh yeah, I remember, that's cool.
Yeah.
Whereas I have replayed A Link to the Past before, and that game is like, it's not exactly the same thing, but I think experiencing the sort of linearity of that lends itself, at least for me, to a lot of replayability, because like the game is not about surprises or is not about like discovery. It's like, it's just about going through this kind of like joyous mechanical process and like, going to dungeons. And, I know that like a lot of Zelda is about like secrets and secret finding, but at least for A Link to the Past and like Ocarina and the sort of like mainline Zelda games, it's a lot more of like, okay, we have a dungeon that you're supposed to like, not conquer, but beat. And that's sort of the point of the game, which at least for me is easier to replay through and feel like, nice. Yeah. I knew what was coming, but I still had quite a good time with it.
Sure.
Not to say I'm not right now. It's just like, I think I'm saying that the dosage of illicit drugs that Breath of the Wild was the first time isn't hitting quite as hard as it did.
You're chasing the dragon still is what you're telling me.
Yes, exactly. Quite literally sometimes in Breath of the Wild.
Oh, very true. I mean, they're just so cool when they come out of the sky out of fucking no.
It's great.
God, it's so good.
Like
that fucking music, that piano. Ooh.
It's great. It's so good. A lot of that stuff still hits, right? Like the dragon stuff is cool. Finding a horse that you like is good. And like the music that plays when you're riding on a horse is great. The first time like the blood moon shows up is terrifying and scary.
Yep.
And like, I don't remember every shrine pitch perfect. And so getting in there, I'm like, okay, how do I beat this one again? It's all like, it's fun still. It's definitely not me saying this game doesn't hold any secrets anymore, but just something that I was noticing as I'm playing through it. Like I couldn't stop playing it the first time I did. And this one, it's been kind of a nice experience to be like, yeah, I'll play for half an hour or, an hour, find a couple shrines and then be like, yep, that's totally enough Breath of the Wild right now. Obviously, like pretty much anybody else who has played games in a while is very interested in what Tears of the Kingdom is going to bring to the table.
Sure am.
Because it totally could be a lot of the same. And I think that would be still good, but I do hope that they're able to do enough different that it feels novel still.
Yeah.
Again, because I just don't know that a lot of games have hit the highs that this game did. But if it's like exactly the same map and you're kind of doing the same stuff, it's like, I think the veneer or the shine could wear off a little bit.
Well, I mean, it's a big ask to have them totally reinvent a genre all over again, which is pretty much what they did with Breath of the Wild. So, I mean, even if they get it to have that same feeling like it did in the first one or with Elden Ring, those are the only 3 games I could think of that would then give you that experience.
Do it.
So I'd still say that's a very damn good game, but yeah, it's not gonna be that same kind of, oh my God, they have done it, they've cracked the code, they've done something totally different and unique as it was with the original. That's a special experience.
Yeah, for sure. And I think I'm also just trying to like level set in my own head of like not trying to expect the moon.
Sure.
Well, in the case of a follow-up to a Zelda game that was heralded as one of the best games ever, maybe I should expect the moon, David.
Maybe you should. You should expect the moon from Skull Kid. He's bringing it.
Yes, exactly. I think I'm just hoping that there is more map, that the map is a little bit different. Because I think like if you change the map, I'm back in pretty much immediately.
Or they're just like, all right, now you get to go on the ocean like Wind Waker.
I'm game, man. I'm ready.
The King of Lions, is that his name?
I think so. Yeah,
Red
your
Lion?
ship.
Red Lion?
Denny's, yeah. Denny's the boat. That's a Sacramento joke. There was a place called Lions in Sacramento that was like very similar to Denny's.
The King of Red Lions. Yeah, it's spelled Lyons. It was good. I remember going eating at their countertop with my dad for breakfast.
Same, yeah.
Great time.
Yeah, so I don't know. I get the sense that they're hiding something about this game. That like there is some significant either mechanical or narrative twist that happens very early in the game that I think they may have a hard time showing enough of.
Sure.
I may be totally wrong, but that's just kind of the gut sense that I get, like seeing the marketing for pretty much every other Zelda game. They show a lot of it. But at the same time, too, like Breath of the Wild is kind of a hard game to show. It's like, yeah, you can go over there. Like, yeah, cool. But until you get your hands on it, it's not as tangible.
Just watch it be a multiverse game. You can just go into different Zelda games from the past.
Well, they keep playing that, like, there's some like musical motif that sounds so much like something out of Twilight Princess. And I'm like, are we going there? Is that what we're doing? It totally could be a multiverse thing.
Midna's back. Ganon from Twilight Princess kills Link's aunt, and then 2 other Links show up, and you have to fight all the Ganons ever.
Sorry, Link, Zant is here again.
There you go.
The final game that I've been playing, David,
yes,
is my dear wife and I, Emily Alice, have been playing Paper Mario and the 1,000-Year Door.
Ooh, nice.
I managed to figure out how to stop it from locking up when I was playing it through the Steam Deck.
Perfect.
Just had to turn the like rendering down a little bit. I was running it at 3 times like rendering, so it looked incredible, but would frequently just like lock up.
You were blowing up your Steamy D over there.
Yeah. Oh God, the phrasing. So
my apologies.
We had just played through Paper Mario on the N64 and both really enjoyed it. And so we just pretty much moved right on to the next one. And I was like aware that this game, I think from a lot of Paper Mario heads, is like, this is the one, right? Like this is the game that people who like the series point to and say, this is the one in this series that is the best we have. And so like, I wouldn't say my expectations were high, but I was expecting like a little bit more than what 64 brought. Because like 64 is incredible and really, really good, but in parts felt dated. And so I was like, what are we going to do here that feels new and fresh? Especially because like the GameCube era of Nintendo, I think has held up pretty well.
Yeah.
Just like visually and mechanically, like there's a lot of stuff there that's like, yeah, it's still pretty good.
I was just thinking about that the other day. Wind Waker, Metroid, Smash.
I am particular to Super Mario Sunshine.
Yeah.
I think Sunshine still plays great. And yeah, like a lot of those games, like that feels fair, like modern enough that I don't have to kind of put on my historical glasses to be like, yeah, I'm enjoying this. It's like, yeah, that feels fresh and still very good and interesting. And so we fired this one up, and I think initially just the intro of the game is very different. You show up in a very like strange place. Peach is like, hey, here's this treasure map. Come and find me. Not that she is the treasure, but like I'm already looking for it. Come and like hang out.
Sure.
And so you do that. You show up in this like port city that's like weirdly kind of rough. You show up there and there's like graffiti in the back area, and there's kind of like mobsters who are the Delfino dudes, the guys who live in Delfino Plaza, kind of like shuffling people around. There's also like you hang someone in public, the gallows. There's a gallows in the middle of the square.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's very weird.
Whoa.
Which like they never tell you why that's there. Like,
it's just a
kind
threat.
of haunting.
It's there as a threat.
I think it's meant to be kind of like a pirate port town or something like that, where like shit's just rough here.
And then Captain Jack Sparrow comes out of nowhere.
Exactly. Yeah. He's in this one too. And Kingdom Hearts. So anyway, you go through the game, and initially it felt to me like it was playing out very similar to Paper Mario 64. Like just the kind of not beat for beat, but a lot of it was, the first level was pretty similar. You got to go into a castle and like fight a big monster, and like, you collect a star, and that's like your thing, right? Which is very similar to the like first area of the first one, but I don't think this game was intended to be played back to back with the other ones. So I was like, all right, well, like maybe there's some more interesting stuff in the game a little bit later. Not to mention your first 2 companions are like almost the same people as the first one. Your companion in the first game is Goombario, and your first one in this one is Goombella, and they both have like identical abilities, like head bonk and tattle, to like get info on your enemy.
Goombario,
the homie. He's a good dude. Wow. He's a cool guy. And then the second companion you get is Koops, a Koopa friend, similar to Cooper in the first one.
Okay.
However, the pretty shortly after that, the game starts doing a lot of different stuff. You go into like an inverted world where like these otherworldly creatures live in this like tree that you have to like rescue from these like space bad guys that have captured Peach, which like that dungeon was weird in some ways. Like there was a lot of strange mechanics in there, but like at least visually and just design wise, I was like, this is interesting. This is cool. And then we got to this area yesterday that I am just like all about. It is this flying a getaway location that's just like in the sky. You have to take a blimp to get there.
Oh, that's cool.
And yes, very cool. Like the design of it is incredible. You show up and there's like the main attraction of this place is that there's like a fighting arena, and you as Mario show up, and like the champion, it has like the star on his belt, right?
Sure.
Like the thing that you are there to collect, it's owned by like this gigantic like wrestler, and you go like talk to the promoter essentially, and he's like, yeah, totally, like we can get you can fight that guy if you want to, but you have to climb the ranks first. Like you have to become like a fighter at this arena. You gotta get good. And so like he kind of ropes you into this illicit contract where he's like, just sign here, like don't worry about it. And his like assistant leads you out of the room and into like the locker room of the some of the fighters who are like in the lower ranks. And she's like, yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about it. As you look through your contract, like you can't leave here until the boss says so don't try and do that. You have to fight through all the ranks and don't lose, and like all this shit, right? Like it's ridiculous shit. So the way that this dungeon quote unquote is playing out is that you're literally just fighting in the arena over and over again. And it throws in these like requests of, if you want to move up in rank, you have to do what the promoter guy says, right? So if you want to go up in rank in this fight, it's you can't use special moves. You have to take damage at least 3 times, or just like some other meta requirement other than just like beating somebody, which is just like it is breaking the mold of the dungeon formula enough for me to be like, okay, this feels incredibly different and novel in a way that like the first game was very much just like go through the dungeon, beat the boss, get the star. This feels like something totally different, which makes the game feel more like an adventure and more not lived in, but the place feels more tangible to me.
Because there's variety. There's different things that you do to get stars.
Yes. Yeah. It feels like the stars are just like out there and I have to go get them, rather than like, I am playing a video game. Mario knows I'm playing a video game. And we're just going to go beat the bad guys until it's done. Yeah. It feels like an adventure, which is cool. I really like that. And yeah, something that it felt very novel playing through it. We're still playing through it, but I was pretty stoked on that being the structure of this dungeon. Cool. Plus the companion that you get there is, so good. It's like,
who is it?
It's a tiny little Yoshi that like just hatched. You find Yoshi. The egg. It's a small baby Yoshi who has a mohawk and like just a lot of attitude. Like he always looks like he's flexing. He's so tiny. It's
Short King Yoshi.
Yes. He's a baby. He like just hatched.
That's amazing. But he has a mohawk already.
He has a mohawk. Yes.
That's wild.
And it's like almost manipulative. They let you name it, and that's like the name of the character in the game from then on in. And my wife Emily also was playing it, so of course she named it after our dog. So this character is now named Snackos with a heart emoji at the end of it.
Oh my gosh. This is the most important character in the game now, I think.
That's, I think, unfortunately, the deal is now that like with all the other characters, I'm like, oh no, Koops took a lot of damage. I guess we have to heal him. Whereas like now it's like Snacks took 5 points of damage. The fuck am I doing wrong here? We need to leave this place.
I will destroy you.
Yes. Yeah. So it's been fun. I'm enjoying this game, and definitely at this point, I am seeing why people say that this is one of the better entries in the series. Initially didn't, and I think that's just because we played this game so quickly after the first one that the first few levels felt a little bit like, yeah, okay, I know what we're doing here. Like this doesn't feel super new yet. Yeah. But it does now. I will say that there's like an exponential increase in dialogue in this one. Okay. Which is sometimes fun because you get a lot of chances to like talk to the club promoter and hear all the wild shit that's going on in this arena. But other times it's like, okay, you guys, please come on. Yeah. I don't need to hear more dialogue between these 3 like bad sisters that are yelling at each other.
3 bad sisters.
I think, again, just having played the other one, like the N64 one was funny, and also there was a lot of brevity in the humor. Like it was condensed. fast, right? It made me laugh with very little. Whereas this one, like sometimes it's kind of a long walk to get you to laugh with some of this stuff.
It's really trying to lay out the groundwork for the joke, huh?
Yes. And like sometimes it works, right? But I think I can feel the fact that they're like, we have so much room on this tiny little GameCube disc. Let's fill it up with text.
With jokes. With Yugx.
Yeah. So I think both Em and I are like, sometimes like, okay, come on. Whereas I wanted to read everything that was being said in the N64 one. But yeah, I'm loving this game. Anyway, video games. Nice. This will bring me to my Podtimistic thing of the week, David.
Yes, which is?
It's breaking the mold, David.
Okay.
This dungeon broke the mold in a way for me of like, it's looking at the expectations that you have of this like structure and doing something that is playing with that, which is very fun, very cool. I noticed this happening in Breath of the Wild too, where there's like that island that you go to and it's like, hey, this is a challenge place. We're going to take away all your weapons. Do you want to do that now? And like, hell yeah, breaks the mold. Like my assumption in this game is that I'm always going to have my weapons and all the shit that I'm carrying around. And then suddenly you take it all away and you're like, this is the challenge now, is to kind of reset and redo the game. Perfect. Just incredible. I really, really like that.
Nice.
Really any of these, like, it's hard for me to conjure exactly a specific one, but like a lot of video games do this sometimes where like a side quest is just like a total departure from what the rest of the game is doing. Which is really fun. I think Divinity did this a lot where like, what the fuck, what am I doing here? This is not the sort of like D&D style fighting that's happening. It's just like I'm at this bar trying to convince these people to like do XYZ or whatever.
Give me your key. Let me in through your basement.
Yeah. Anyway, that's my deal. Do you have something fueling your sense of optimism, David?
I do, Chase.
What is it?
Baldur's Gate 3 finally has a release date for PS5.
Oh, yeah.
August 31st, baby. I'm so stoked.
The month of your birthday, no less.
The month of my birth. Also the day that my loans officially go back into repayment, baby. God. Gotta live it up that day.
Yeah, Jesus.
But yeah, I'm stoked on playing that game because I fucking love Larian Studios, the makers of Divinity Original Sin 1 and 2. There is split screen co-op confirmed from this last trailer that they showed.
Oh, that's cool.
And it looks great. It looks so good. It looks like more Larian goodness of just really nice isometric RPG gaming. And I'm really looking forward to playing it with Mallory. It's going to be great.
Yeah, for sure. I saw that you could move the camera, which I don't know why that bothers me in the other games. I really just like, I would love to see it from a different angle.
Just a little bit of a different angle, huh?
Yeah. And I think specifically dialogue, they zoom in a lot closer to the people when you're talking to someone, which really works for me. It's kind of tough for me to just look at the tiny little dots that are two people's heads.
Yeah.
While I'm in dialogue, I kind of want to see somebody's face.
Yeah, I want to see the whole character model.
It's exciting to be able to go down there and look at a face.
Looking at faces. That's my optimistic thing of the week.
Faces. See a face.
See a face. Not a real face, but a face nonetheless.
A fake face, you know.
Chase the face.
Anyway, do you want to move on to our main thing, David?
Yeah, I do.
Let's do it. Hey, we're here. Check this out.
We're here.
It's good games. It is the Chavid Good Time.
Oh, the Chavy Good Time.
The Chavy Good Time, where we remember the okayest games of yesteryear and gush all the things that we love about them anyway. We are playing one that you kind of played recently. You played the sequel to.
I did. I sure did.
We're playing Gungrave. This came to us as a suggestion from listener Zizby, I believe is how you pronounce it. They had said that Gungrave for PS2, it's the most PS2-ass PS2 game ever made. Which
it's pretty dead on.
That's accurate. We could end the segment at this point. That is a pretty specific and accurate depiction.
All right, on to the website.
Yeah, scout out of the week. So, we're going to talk about that. Can I hit you with some hot stats about Gungrave, David?
Please shoot them at me with your twin pistols.
Hot stats.
So Gungrave came out September 16th of 2002, which was not that far into the PS2's life cycle.
Oh, that's
fairly early on. It was made by this company called Red Entertainment, which I hadn't really heard of before. I think that's partially because most of the games that they put out are Japanese only releases, but they're not only a video game publisher and developer, but they also are listed in animation as the industries that they're in. I think they I don't know if they develop in-house or if they just publish
Sure.
anime, but they seem to have some sort of connection there.
What anime do they do? Anything famous?
It's a great question. There's an artist that worked on this game that I can talk about later, but
cool.
that also worked on a manga, but
Nice.
we'll get there. They also made some video games. I think maybe the most notable of which is the Sakura Wars games. I'd sort of heard of those before. They had, of course, the hit game Natural Ultimate Digital Experiment.
Whoa.
The acronym, of course, that they printed on the game box. Nude. It's like a game like Seaman where you talk to like a person or a digital person.
Natural Ultimate Digital Experiment. All right.
Gaming.
Sounds right. Anyways, games.
They also made Trigun, The Planet Gunsmoke, the video game. 1,000 Arms, which I had also sort of heard before, but I haven't played before. And then who can forget The Twisted Tales of Spike McFang, the SNES video game.
Whoa, what a name.
I love Spike McFang.
The Twisted Tales of Spike McFang. That's good.
Really, yeah, some tantalizing verbiage there. The naming is really fun.
It really is. Yeah. And it alliterates Twisted Tail. Feels good.
Mm-hmm. Spike McFang doesn't alliterate or rhyme or anything, but it does feel good. It scratches my brain.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it definitely does. It has a strong cadence to it.
I also have a review of Gungrave from, and thank goodness, at long last, it's Joe Video, David.
Oh, the return
of
of
the
the king.
I've taken the Joe Video's review, which is originally in French, and I've run it through a number of translations. Google Translate one language into the other and eventually arriving back in English, all mangled up for viewing pleasure, which I'll read now. And like just a quick preface. Nobody does it like Joe Video does it, David. These things get so fucked up so fast.
It ain't even close, huh?
No, dude. Here. I'll listen. I'll say it for you. I'll read it. In fact, so Congress has suffered. The game is graced with excellent pronouns, which I appreciate in my deepest humility, and express simplicity for players to use without penalty. What are you asking me about this deception? You ask me what is the use of this scam. It's easy. Loot is disappointing in the visuals department. Great design again. The title gets thick quickly. Calculations take less than 2 hours to complete pro mode. Disappointing. A real shame. And that is 12 out of 20. Nobody does it like Joe Video, David.
It just, what is it with Joe Video where their reviews just get translated into these things that make absolutely no sense? Other ones that kind of sound like beat poetry sometime. It's just like twisted, weird like verbiage or way that they're communicating. But Joe Video is just nonsense. It's just nonsense.
Yeah, I don't understand what spice they're putting on it. I do enjoy whatever it is, but man, it's all over the place.
It's a spicy review.
Could you tell me what Gungrave is, David?
Yeah, Gungrave is a, not on rails, but linear.
Kind of, yeah.
Linear shoot 'em up where you play as Grave, a large man in a trench coat with a big coffin hanging on his back with two big old pistols and a top hat and silly little glasses on his face, who goes around shooting the ever-loving hell out of I'm assuming like a futuristic version of the Yakuza is kind of what I got from it.
Sort of.
Millennium, I think is their name. They're their little crime organization. And pretty much what you're trying to do is just take down the boss of this crime organization because he has staged a coup against the old boss. And apparently you don't like that. So you have to go and just kill lots and lots of people to take him down. And he hurt a little girl, apparently, or something.
Yeah, the one that like drags your guns back to you. Yeah. In the very beginning. Yeah. Yeah, she's like bloody or something when she shows up.
Yeah. I think she was the old leader's daughter or something like that.
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah. But yeah, you have some melee moves, you have some gun moves, you have some big shooty missile moves. You can jump, you can dive.
Every now and then.
And it's all very stylized in a cel-shaded anime way, which was very popular at the time for video games because it did make it look quite crisp.
It did, yeah. That's the video game. You got it. It's interesting. I think we can transition into the stuff we like. Yeah. You were mentioning the visuals of it. I really like how this game looks.
It does look fantastic, actually.
It looks really good. Not like photorealistic, but I think their use of like shadows in this game is really good. They have these like really dramatic shadows on people where you can see like just half of someone's face and the rest is totally covered in like just completely black shadow. Yeah. It looks really cool. and dramatic.
It's like a very ink-heavy comic book.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Where like, yeah, they one shading from one shade of gray to another is not the point. You get some detail on one half and then it's just totally black on the other, which is great. And it matches the aesthetic overall. Like, I think the game is just like steeped in this early 2000s, like not emo, but sort of like edgelord look to it.
I mean, Graves' character design is something out of the Black Parade.
My dude's name is Beyond the Grave. That's his full name.
His first name is Beyond?
Yeah, in the wiki, they listed it as Beyond the Grave. That's his name.
First name Beyond, middle name The, last name Grave.
He was like originally just named Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon.
This is actually Dark Brandon.
This is Dark Brandon. Fuck, dude. Wow. I mean, he kicks some ass.
He does kick a lot of ass. Yeah, like he was friends with the main antagonist in this game, and apparently the main antagonist, Harry, is that the name that we found?
Harry McDowell.
Yes. Just the whitest dude's name.
Right?
He had killed him like 15 years ago. And now that you have been brought back from the grave.
By Dr. T.
Yes, you are now named Beyond the Grave. You're just this like, I think, dialogueless character, at least in this one. I don't think he talks, right?
Yeah, I never heard him talk, at least.
Maybe there's a big reveal at the end where he says like, I'm Grave, the bad guy. But
my name's Grave.
Just a Pokemon. Anyway, yeah, it's his whole vibe is great. The physical character design is just like obscene too. He's so big, just like a thick guy.
He's a big, thick guy who Naruto runs wherever he goes with his giant coffin that's strung up on his neck with a giant chain. He is a whole vibe.
Something that I like ended up appreciating while playing this a lot is just like it feels like a time capsule in some ways. Like it's just unapologetically representing so many things from 2002.
Yeah.
I sort of made reference to this earlier, but the person who did this art for this game is named Yasuhiro Naitao, which was kind of a big get, I think. He did the art for Trigun, the manga, which was pretty popular. I'd say that's like a pretty popular manga, and the adaptation to anime was also pretty popular. And the art there is great too. Like you can see the connective tissue if you look up like pictures of Trigun and then look at this and you're like, yeah, that seems like it's kind of a similar vibe.
Yeah.
And so like the art feels deeply 2000s. The music all feels very 2000s. The aesthetic of it all. Like I'm surprised like a bat didn't fly out every now and then to just be like, yeah, dude, it's 2002.
Bad Country starts playing.
Yeah. Shocked that there's no Avenged Sevenfold in the track lists here. So point being like I did enjoy the fact that it's just unapologetically all that stuff.
Yeah.
There was probably a period of time, like say 10 years after this game came out, where I'd have been like, wouldn't have been as palatable to be like, oh, this doesn't look very good.
It would have been too close to when that was popular. Yeah.
Like at that point, you're still living in the reaction to that era of design. But at this point, it's far enough away that it's like, yeah, that's fun. I like that. It feels like a novelty, which is cool.
Absolutely.
What did you we were kind of talking about this pre-pod, but you said you kind of enjoyed this one, right?
I did enjoy it. I feel like this was actually a little bit more enjoyable for me than the more recent one that I played, Gungrave Gore.
Yeah.
It's hard to put my finger on it, but I feel like this game controlled better. In Gungrave Gore, you really feel like you're just plodding through these levels. Whereas in this one, like you're definitely kind of slow, but you're not, that doesn't feel like you're like stuck in molasses like it did sometimes in Gungrave Gore. And also I liked the crisp visuals of this one better than the visuals in Gungrave Gore. I thought this one was just a little bit more easy to actually discern what's going on. Gungrave Gore, I think you were talking about it, but it seemed like it was like just a very Unreal Engine game. It had that kind of glossiness to it that comes with an Unreal Engine game, which isn't necessarily bad, but it didn't make it stick out like the art style and the graphics of this one did.
Yeah. It doesn't match the source material very well.
No. So I did find myself enjoying this one quite a bit. It's not complicated. It's just hold down the shoot button, hit people with your coffin if they're close to you, and then if there's someone who's strong, shoot them with a big bullet. And that's about it. And you can jump.
That's it.
You can dodge, but you don't really need to dodge. You just kind of move out of the way.
Yeah, most of the time you're mostly fine.
Yeah, most of the time you're fine. So in a way, it kind of reminded me of like Enter the Matrix, but without all the kung fu. It's just like you can kind of jump at people and shoot, jump away at people and shoot. get close and do like a single melee attack that's really powerful. But it's just kind of fun. You're just trying to go through the level and string together as many hits as possible and just get your multiplier up as high as you can. It's an interesting little game loop. It feels like an arcade game. And I say that in like not a pejorative way, but in a kind of like, it gets the feel of an arcade game on a more console-based.
I was thinking that while I was playing it. It's like, this feels like this could have been put out in an arcade and it would have been like totally appropriate.
Absolutely.
Because it gets you into the game so quickly, and the time between like being able to just like shoot dudes is so small.
Mm-hmm.
Like the game feels very condensed. And I was reading some reviews, and I know that that's like sort of a complaint of people at the time. Almost like I feel like every review I read from the 2000s is like, it's too fucking short. I'm totally cool with that now. It's obviously I don't have to pay $60 for this game, so I can understand if it's like, this feels too short. The game is beatable in like an hour and a half. So like you really don't need to put a lot of time into it to almost see everything.
Yeah, it's a short game.
Yes. So I understand like, maybe it doesn't feel worth it that way, but just artistically and creatively, it's kind of nice that it resembles an arcade in the sense that it's condensed in that way. It feels like the fun is trying to really like find you. And get to you. Like, let's make it fun to shoot these dudes.
Mm-hmm.
I think the boss battles specifically were pretty neat.
They were interesting.
You like enter into an arena usually of like, it's not huge, and there's like a lot of guys, and then like one big arrow pointing over like, this is the dude you need to kill.
Yeah, right. So just go find him.
It's really fun because usually like you're just like diving through all these dudes and like just rushing through waves of guys. And then, the game doesn't really like make you do anything super special to get the boss. Usually you just kind of have to like beat him enough, like fight him enough.
Mm-hmm.
And he moves usually, in the first couple levels like any other enemy.
Yeah.
Which I thought was like kind of cool. It allows you to apply the same lessons that you've been learning in the game thus far to a boss, rather than the boss being an exception.
Yeah.
To how you're learning how to play, right? So like the first one, it's like, I know how to beat guys. I'll save up for, a rocket and then blast him with one of those. And then the first guy like kind of got him in a corner and just kept doing melee moves. I'm like, that works perfect, which is cool. I thought that was neat.
Yeah. It's just fun.
I think with these kind of games, the more you want to make them lengthy, the more you run the risk of kind of spreading yourself thin.
Absolutely.
With what the game is doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like this game is short. The levels are not long. Like the first level, I think took 5-10 minutes, if that.
Mm-hmm.
And it felt appropriate. Like it felt appropriate for those levels to be that long. Because I think if you start making them longer and just adding in stuff for the fun of it, it's like, what are we doing here, man? I kind of start to think about, why am I playing this, rather than just like go shoot the hit guy. That's fun.
You're not trying to think too much about why you're doing these things, right? Because the game just starts off like, here's your guns, and you're like, all right, time to murder.
I'm a big guy. I'm a
time
fight.
to rampage.
Yeah.
Not much explanation of it. Just go and do it. But it's just silly fun. It's just a silly fun game. It's not much like huge depth to it or anything. It's just try to get the highest score and shoot some people, have some good boss fights, and have a good time. Gungraven.
I found the sound design pretty good in this one. It felt really punchy. Like the gun sounds were really good. The explosions were ridiculous. They sounded like they were like clipping a lot of the time, which was fun. And then I was watching videos of Gungrave gore, and that was something that felt kind of missing, was that the sound of design felt kind of like flat and muted in a certain sense.
Yeah.
Whereas like this one's pretty loud.
Raucous.
Yeah. When they choose to make something a big deal, it sounds like it is a big deal. Also, the soundtrack is just bizarre. There's so many things happening.
I did like the intro cinematic and soundtrack. I'm always a sucker for like futuristic jazz. And that's what this felt like. It was great.
Yeah, there was a lot of that in the 2000s. The kind of like neo jazz fusion in video game soundtracks.
Yep.
And also the drum and bass stuff that we were introduced way back to with Buck Bumble is making an appearance here. Beat. Yes, exactly. Which like I've grown to appreciate so much. I very regularly listen to like jungle lo-fi drum and bass tracks on like playlists on YouTube. There's so many good ones.
What a cultured man over here.
I owe it all to Buck Bumble.
I owe it all to the bum.
So anytime one of those tracks came up in this game, I was like, yes, absolutely. It feels just like PS2 core, that sound.
PS2 core.
If anybody's not familiar with it, I would recommend going and listening to either the Buck Bumble soundtrack or just go on YouTube and search PS2 jungle type beat, and you will find exactly what it is. You know what it sounds like.
Yeah.
if you have played these games.
Or our Buck Bumble episode.
Yes, yeah, that also we dove into it pretty in depth there, which was really fun. But yeah, it's out there. I like that kind of music now. Thank you, Buck.
Uncle Buck.
Uncle Buck, thank you. The only other thing I had written down was that I watched a video of somebody play the ending boss, and it is like Attack on Titan-esque. It's so scary.
Oh man,
just
really?
This big like twisted version of the boss, the guy that was apparently assassinated.
Yeah,
he like is turned into this like very spooky monster.
Yeah, maybe that's where they got the idea from.
I hope so. Anything else that you want to say is cool about this game, David?
No, I think we covered it all. It's a pretty short game. There's not a whole lot going on.
Yeah.
Cool graphics, fun gunplay, good sound design. Yeah, it's a fun game. Fun little game. Gaming.
Yeah, if you have the chance to play it, I would say that this one's worth it.
Yeah, it's not going to eat up a whole lot of your time anyways.
No, you will waste no time getting in and out of this one.
Yeah, just touch your toes in. If it ain't your bag, go somewhere else. It's fine.
Dip. Then you can go play
out.
Sunset Riders again. Go live your Cormano life.
Gotta be Cormano.
Thank you, Zeesby, for suggesting this game. It's a fun one. I like this. It was a PS2-esque game.
Sure was. Good time.
Good time. Good games.
If you would like to take a dive into our back catalog, if you would like to suggest games for us to do, if you would like to check out our social media pages or contact us somehow, you can do all of those things at podtimism.com, lovingly crafted and curated by one Chase Albee, the man with the website plan. Looks beautiful. It's a great site.
I made it.
He made it. But yeah, go over there, check it out. It's got everything you could want from this podcast at your fingertips. It's good.
Other than making more episodes, it can't do that.
Yeah.
It can show you the ones that we already did.
And a nice, it shows you all the cover art that Chase has done. All looks great. He's a talented man.
It's all there.
If you really want to help out the podcast, you can leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or whatever podcast app you use that allows for that sort of rating or review. We love them. We read them. They're great.
It is true.
If you also want, you can tell a friend or tell other folks about this podcast if you think they would like it. We appreciate that. That'd be also very cool. And if they don't like that's also very cool.
Totally cool.
Totally cool. If you hold on. This is the mandatory scout out of the week. I also
lose track so regularly. I'm like, wait, what have I already done?
Scout Wilkinson, thank you so much for the beautiful podcast art.
We
love
Scout.
it. It's great. Are her commissions still open or she already got snatched up?
Probably not, if I had to guess.
You can also check at co-fi.com/humblegoat.
One commission slot open.
Oh,
scoop it up before it's gone.
Bidding war. Here we go, Scout. You know what you got.
Yeah, man.
Anyways, she's great. So go check her out. Last but not least, thank you, dear listener, for spending your time with us. We really appreciate it. It's great. We love doing this, and it's pretty cool that other people listen to us doing this. It's fun.
It's true. Thank you for spending your time with us. It's great. We love making this game making this podcast. I haven't drank tonight. I don't know what's going on.
It's you did so well the rest of the episode without your notes, and now you're just going off the rails.
I really shit the bed on this one. We deeply appreciate you listening to the podcast. Thank you deeply. Yeah, that's it. Yes.
Do you have any video game wisdom for the week?
Let's see. I got to tell you, I'm so tempted to throw it back and just say dampness is today, hootenanny is tomorrow. That was it really rocked me, that video game wisdom from last week. It's really stuck with me.
It's really got into your head, huh?
Yeah, I'm kind of living that hootenanny lifestyle. But if we're making a new one, then I'll say, if you need to take stock of your life, I would take a look at who in your life is a heartless and who is the consequence of that heartless and who is a nobody. Who has turned into a nobody. And the most important follow-up, are they a part of Organization 13 or are they a famous cook?
Yeah, right.
And if so, which one or both? Because I'm stuck in the Fieri Organization 13 universe.
I don't think Guy Fieri's Nobody is part of Organization 13. I think he is going to create his own organization called the Flavor Town.
The Flavor Town 5.
The Knights of Flavor.
Like they're the first nobodies who experience feelings in an earnest way.
Ooh, because they ate such good food.
Mm-hmm.
They're just like, oh my God.
It's impossible not to feel.
This donkey sauce has got me feeling.
This has got me donkey sauced. Everybody knows the first emotion that we feel as humans is donkeyed.
Ooh, I don't like where this is going at all.
Yeah, this is slow rolling into DK territory,
I hate
isn't it?
this. I don't. We're reversing. We're reversing course and going away from DK Town back to Flavor Town.
They're neighbors, man. They're so close.
They really are. They are related for sure.
Yeah.
Donkey sauce is what Guy Fieri made for DK Town as a show of friendship.
Friendship. Yeah. It was a truce between the fighting that had gone on. Between the Flavor Town 5.
And that's how the nobody of Guy Fieri got his heart back. Because as Tarzan said, no heart, no friends.
No heart, no friends. Maybe that's the gaming wisdom this week. No heart, no friends.
That sounds like a Fido Dido thing. No heart, no friends.
It does kind of sound like a Fido Dido. Yeah. Which it seems like it could be taken in a bad spirit, but I think the point of it is just like, be good. Be good to your people.
Yeah.
You know?
And be good to yourself.
And to Tarzan. And Guy Fieri.
Especially Guy Fieri.
Be nice to Tarzan. He's earned it.
He's earned it, Tarzan?
And Guy.
I just want Kingdom Hearts set in Guy Fieri world now.
Yeah, there's a world where that is somehow owned by Disney, so you're not totally off base. Can you imagine photorealistic Guy Fieri talking about fucking hearts with Sora? Oh my God.
He has like a giant like grill spatula, and then just you're fighting a heartless, and he comes out of nowhere and goes, "That's out of bounds," and just destroys them.
Fights fucking Sephiroth or something. Man, I love
If
video
it's
games.
funky, fuck you. And it just kills someone.
All right, see you next week, everybody.
See ya.
Bye.